This is probably the first one that I've done that I can't believe I'm doing. Like it just because, so, okay, I'll start it and then I'll just get rolling. All right, hanging out, kind of an impromptu thing. Jeff Emig at Moto, what is it? Moto Ventures, right?
Moto Ventures, yeah. We're right across from Kahia Motocross over there on the hill. And
you're a trainer.
Friend of mine, Andre, has a learn to ride area here. So whether it's first ride or coaching from kids all the way up to people that ride adventure bikes, Andre and his team do a great job. They've got a range, a little tracks, a bunch of trails. And so out here with my girlfriend Jessica, she got herself a Honda CRF 125F.
It's rad.
First day, she's stoked. She came out here and Kylie Nordby gave her sort of learn to ride sessions 3-4 months ago, whatever it was. It was summertime. And then it was like after that, she couldn't wait to come back. And then one thing led to another. Now months have gone by. So she's like, look, I'm going to go get myself a bike and I can go ride if I want. So you can come with me or not. So so she's having a good time.
It's pretty cool. And it is a cool little place like right over here. I mean, it's all flat in some areas so you can learn like different things or whatever. But so I was telling you right before we officially started this thing is I've done a lot of these, right? And this is definitely one of those ones that it's like, you are part of the reason that I love Moto, right? Like it, because I grew up in that era. I grew up in the era. There's stories I'll get to about why, but I grew up in the era of you battling with McGrath.
Was it the dunes, the dirt bikes, or the hot tub? Which was it, or just a combination of all three?
Why can't it be all of it?
You're like, if I
I don't fucking care. But what it was is I like the fact that I was at the age where I couldn't really afford to ride. And so like you would live that through other people, and it was usually pro riders and stuff like that. My brother by far is going to be very upset that he did not get to attend this one because his whole life you've been his favorite rider.
Oh, well, that's
shout out
fantastic.
Robbie.
Hey, Robbie.
Yeah.
Sorry I missed you, buddy. Can't wait to see you.
I'll be at his house in a little bit.
All right.
And it's also Christmas Eve too. So thank you for doing this. I know it's kind of impromptu. You and I have been talking about it for a little while now. But I'm happy to sit down with you and just chat about little things here and there, like some moto stuff, some life stuff, and just kind of everything in between. But what's been new? What's been going on with you lately?
Well, I guess new is I just have a lot of irons in the fire. Unfortunately, the broadcasting with World Supercross is no longer one of those irons. So I'm looking for my next broadcasting contract, hopefully here soon. I'm available. But still my projects with ODI. We've got the Emig 2.0 and the Emig Pro.
Got them on my bike.
Oh, there you go. Same grips we just put on Jessica's bike.
MX Locker,
Rhino Power, what do we have? Elevate Coaching. I'm trying to think of like...
Dude, you're doing a ton of stuff.
Camel Smoker Cross and Weebig Moto. So getting ready to release some of that new gear that I've been wearing this year with Weebig. And so just a lot of bits and bobs here. And I reference the broadcasting because the broadcasting is what always... set my schedule, and that was the foundation of what I did, and then everything else works off of that. So without that, it's like, okay, now I find that I'm getting more back into riding mode, right?
Okay.
Obviously raced last summer and did Loretta's and all of that sort of stuff. And that was great because I went back to Texas and did the qualifiers back there. BJ Burns from MX University helps me, and we partner up on all these races, and he's an amazing coach and all that stuff. But when I do the races, he comes and works on the bikes and really coaches me also through the events or through like the national back in Tennessee.
She stole it. If you're listening, on this, let's see. She got it. There. Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
you need a pusher?
No.
I'm not cutting this either. I don't cut anything. I do one take.
The skill to do comes from the doing.
Dude, it is. Yeah, it is 100%. Slow.
Put it in first, baby.
Yeah.
So
come on, get it.
Once again, I think that the riding always is what grounds me. And I find
grounds
that
everybody.
But I mean, it's what I do for business in all these other avenues, and I feel like the further away from the riding I get is the further away from like tending to my business. So it's like if I'm involved in it, I'm just you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I haven't ridden for a few months now, and so it's like I find that I get a little bit disconnected. But like last summer when I was riding, I was just fully engaged in all of it. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Go get her. Go get her. Go get her. Hey, it's all right.
Okay, let the clutch out. We're just gonna.
I am. It's not.
Give it some gas. Give it some gas.
Oh yeah. Hey, she was in like third.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just in too high of a gear. Yeah.
All right. Well.
Dude, once you get going, it is hard to learn the clutch. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So, all right. So going back to.
And I'm a coach with USMCA and motorcyclecoaching.org.
Yeah.
And I love coaching first ride. I love coaching beginner stuff. But I'm going to give all you gentlemen out there a little bit of advice. Doesn't matter whether it's motocross or golf or surfing or snowboarding. Do not coach your girlfriend or your wife, probably not your daughter either.
Yeah.
Hire a professional. Now your son, he can take
You can push a little bit.
My son doesn't like me coaching him on moto stuff either. Okay, that's why a qualified, certified coach off of motorcyclecoaching.org has all those skills and all the patience. Whereas like, if I tick her off, you know, we're going to go to dinner tonight and it's like, what's the attitude about? And it's like, 5-6 hours ago, oh, nothing, everything's fine.
Everything's good.
And then you get to dinner and it's like, I can't believe you were doing that when we were just trying to, you know.
Oh, do an interview or whatever? Yeah, it's that's fine.
Hire a coach is the best money ever.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I coach my daughter in softball, and I noticed I would, when I would sit and somebody else would coach my daughter, you got way more out of her.
Oh, and the other girls are great with you.
Yeah.
And then your own daughter.
All the other girls are perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All the other girls are perfect.
And that's why, you know, especially we come out to a place like this at Moto Ventures, you know, it's absolutely fantastic because, like, they have coaches that have, you know, thousands of hours of coaching, and especially when Kylie Nordby coached Jessica earlier this year.
Yeah.
Kylie's so good, and they had this, you know, woman-to-woman interaction. It was great. Yeah.
Especially when you have somebody that's like another female doing it. That's a big difference. Okay, so let's talk about the announcing thing. I miss you in the booth. I actually really enjoyed you announcing races. I thought it was a good pair with you and Ralph. I mean, you guys are still friends, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we chat, like, literally we're on a group text with Pete Richards from Fox Sports. Ralph and I, we're literally, especially right now, you know, because we have NFL going on today, fantasy football leagues we're in, and we're just,
You're what's Chiefs great, fan, right?
Yeah, Chiefs, and what's great is what Pete Richards and Ralph Shaheen, they're just totally just the biggest fans of motorsports. And so we connect on all these different ways, and it's like something will happen and we're just like, hey, you know, sending that Instagram through, oh, did you see about this? And so we just keep this conversation, and even though they both live in Charlotte and they don't live but about 30 minutes from each other, but they hardly see each other. You know, we stay connected that way. Yeah, that's always the word. Oh, we got to get together. And then you go, we said that 6 months ago.
I know. It is hard though. I mean, you have different things that come up. You have kids, especially having kids. That's a lot. What kind of, like, in your thoughts and your opinions, like, what was the biggest reasons of you not being in the Supercross booth?
Oh, I don't know. It's just business. They make their choices and what they think fits, and there's all kinds of other business decisions that factor in behind the scenes. And so I don't really want to get
too
involved
deep into those weeds.
In all of that. You know, we all have sportscasters that we like listening to. Like in the NFL, Romo's my guy.
You like Romo?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm a Cowboys fan, so I liked him for a long time.
Yeah. But it was interesting that I got compliments from one of our executive producers at Fox Sports. His name's Frank Wilson. And during the time that I did Supercross and some motocross and all that, he says, what you do really good is you tell me what to look for. And there's been times where it's like, dude, did you have a crystal ball? Like, how did you know that would happen? And sometimes you think something's going to happen at doe, and other times, okay, you can see he's starting to work this inside line. It's not he's not ready to pull the trigger, but if he's on him,
I would notice that.
Around, he's going to go. And that's what I like about Romo, is he's telling me what to look for. Like, he's like, he sees how it's lined up, and just before the ball snaps, he goes, oh, it's going to be a slant to the tight end.
I know what you're talking
and you're
about.
looking at it, you're like, we've all watched thousands of hours of NFL. we're not quarterbacks.
But you have people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some people don't like that.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. You have people that hate
like
it.
Romo. Yeah.
I actually don't mind it because I want to say is like, how did you know that? And then it gives you something to look at. Is like, oh, when they line up in this formation, you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of what you can get from it.
It's going to be A, B, or C. But he's like, okay, look for the slant first off. Now, if that gets blown, okay, now it's you're going to your second, third, fourth look. But
when you're announcing, are you only looking at the monitors, or can you look at both?
Well, so I'll just use, for instance, when I did Monster Energy Supercross, Chris Bond is still the producer.
Yeah.
And so Bondo, Papa Bear, he's the only person really that we talk to.
Okay.
So
in your headset,
Ralph
like
in the headset. So Ralph would always be to my left. So we have program monitor here, 2 timing and scorings.
Okay.
We have AMA and then our other one.
Okay.
And then right next to timing and scoring is what's the ISO monitor, isolated. And then the telestrator would be over here. So I would do the replays.
Yeah.
So what happens is we're calling what's on screen.
Okay.
But then there'll be times where Bondo would roll a replay of the start.
Yeah.
Well, I know what's going to happen because while Ralph's talking, I'm over here. He's like, hey, look, check out the replay of the start on your ISO. Okay, are you good? You got it? Okay, yeah. And then Ralph's like, hey, let's take a look at that replay. Yeah. Well, if you notice way here on the outside, we didn't notice it at real time, but now focus on this. So we freeze, circle, highlight, draw an arrow. Okay, now run it.
I could see that.
And motorsports is way different than doing football, but what they do, how they go every 24 seconds, they boom, 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 it's great.
So all those people that are talking-ish of like, oh, and not even just you, anybody, any announcers, everybody always has an opinion. Everybody doesn't know that. Like how much different things that you're listening to. Like imagine that. You and I are talking right now. Imagine I have an earbud in with a producer telling me, hey, don't forget to ask this, don't forget, and it gets confusing. Was that easy for you when you first got into the announcing booth? Like the transition, or how was that?
Yeah, so let me finish up one thing. So I like when the broadcast booth, when you can see the stadium. Pretty much in all the races in the U.S. you can. Some of the World Supercross ones we did, and it was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But so I'll be standing up looking to see what's happening, to kind of get a sense of what's going on, while Ralph was like, okay, he's talking about what's on program. Jenny or Aaron is doing a pit report or whatever.
Yeah.
So you kind of get a sense of what's going on, and we've all gotten caught recognizing something happened.
Oh, on like out there?
Dungey's down.
Yeah.
And you're watching the screen and you're at home going, what?
You're like, where'd he go? Yeah.
I didn't see him down.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so then Papa Bear gives you a little like, hey,
don't do that.
Call what's on the screen. So after, years, you get, okay, hey, Dungey's down.
You know to
Dungey's down. Dungey's down. So you use your talk back. Hey, Dungey's down in the corner after the whoops. And tape's got it. So then they'll roll a replay. And that's all the chemistry that has to happen. And keep in mind, Ralph did Supercross for 15 years. I did Supercross with him for 12.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And so it's not just the booth chemistry, but it's the producer, the executive producers, the audio guy, the video, V1, the tape room, Doreen and all of her whole crew and what they do, they know, so we all are working in sync. And that's a tough thing to get right.
I can only imagine. I've never even gotten to that level, and I mean, even this is hard for me.
Yeah, but when they're talking in your ear, one of my first races that I did, it was probably my third or fourth race.
Were you nervous?
Yeah. First live race, all these sort of things. But when what people don't understand, and especially about your top guys, that it's like Ralph Shaheen, Jason Wygant, they're play-by-play, so they're hosting. When shit hits the fan, and literally you've got a 15-page format, okay, something will happen, and it's like, okay, scrap the format, everybody shut up, listen to Bondo.
Okay.
And when those first, I'm like, and Ralph's like, dude, Ralph's like over there.
It's not a big deal.
And so Ralph's like, hey, Bondo, just tell me where we're doing. What are we doing? We come back for commercial. We're doing A, B, C. And Ralph writes it down. And we come back, and I'm like, what are we doing? And Ralph's just like, dude, it's
got
cool.
it.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And that's where he calms me, or Jason, who did, dozens of shows with Jason.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we got it.
Yeah.
So in the TV truck, and a bomb just went off. a tape didn't roll, something happened in the networks. I remember the feed,
But you don't even, but nobody knows. You guys know, but like the world isn't, yeah.
So the director and the assistant director, the producer and the talent, we have to, oh, hey, welcome back, you don't
like
know that happened.
Yeah.
Literally, like, yeah. So
do you have like one of those like, oh shit moments when you were doing the broadcast that you remember?
Oh yeah.
Like too many to list?
Carmichael's going to love this one.
Okay.
So we're coming into maybe it's 2018, maybe my last year.
Yeah.
So I had done the press conference for Feld. I'd done all this stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So the head of television for Feld, this guy Ken Hudgens, he got in this place where he said, okay, Anaheim won, A1, that doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's round 1 of Monster Energy Supercross, blah, blah, blah. We weren't allowed to say A1 or Anaheim won. And he says, if the entire team from Ralph, Ricky, Jenny, Juliana, I feel like there's somebody else, and myself.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, if you guys are clean, next week I'm buying dinner.
Really?
Right? Yeah. So Michael Prince, who was head of television, like in that zone, so we have all these meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are gonna blow it. You guys, Ricky, you're so done. You're so done. You guys, one of you guys is gonna say A1, right? So we're started the show. Ralph is out in the outfield by himself. Just Ricky and I in the booth. Mm-hmm. So Ralph throws to me. I say my comment. I throw to Ricky. Ricky then throws to Jenny Taft.
Yeah.
After that, we go to commercial break. So it's in the pre-show. So blah, 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 blah. And I'm on this side, by the way. So I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Here tonight at A1. And I look over at Ricky, and you just see my face. And you see my face.
You don't
His
even
eyes go wide open. No, I go.
Oh, you let it down.
No, you can see it on TV where I go.
I might have to go YouTube that.
Oh
right now.
my! Hey, the whole night.
You're just
I blew it.
Yeah, the whole time you're just like.
And Ricky's like,
damn it.
You said A1.
That's pretty funny, actually. And it's like those little things where it's like, but I don't actually, you know what'd be funny is if he didn't even tell you that or like harped on it to not say it, you probably would have never said it.
I would have said here tonight in Anaheim.
Yeah, there was something that was like, if somebody tells you not to do something, if it's the last thing you hear, you want to say it.
But for 2 days, I was being a smartass about it, telling everybody how they're going to blow it. And then I go,
lesson, didn't you? Yeah, you got
no steak for me. No, I was talking.
It's like you're gonna buy your own steak. Yeah, if you want to go, you're buying your own stuff. All right. So one of the biggest thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and I don't know if you're gonna remember this or not, but the reason you're my brother's absolute top favorite rider is he just for some reason was gravitating towards you. This is in the shift days. By the far best kits. You had the best kits.
Yeah, we had some good.
By far.
Good stuff.
The shift stuff, like the camo stuff, the white stuff. Oh my gosh, like I love that. But there was a time that we met you somewhere. We were little kids. We met you somewhere. You were super nice.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay.
And so
15 years.
Yeah, so we met you somewhere at a race. I can't remember exactly what it was. And you said, "Hey, I ride Star West on these days." I can't remember what it was, but you're like, "Come out."
Tuesday.
Come out. Yeah,
Tuesday,
it was probably
Tuesday
a Tuesday
nights,
night or something like that. We lived in Palm Desert and Yucca Valley. So like we would go back and forth between my mom and dad's. And my mom, we finally convinced my mom to take us. We're like, please, we were begging. We're like, there's Jeff Emig. He invited us to go watch him ride.
How old were you guys? 10, 15?
Between there, I don't remember exactly, but we were like in around that age. And no, so about, I would say 12, 13, somewhere around there. So young. So we go out there and we're watching ride, and remind you is we were poor, we didn't have dirt bikes, like we just, but it was cool to go watch ride because we love moto.
Oh, okay.
So we go out there, we're watching you ride, super nice, you were super gracious to us the whole time. My brother is gonna be like, dude, this isn't how the story goes. I remember it's, specifically, but this is what I remember. You were done riding. My brother and I come up to you, we are scared shitless to go up and talk to you just because it's a big deal, especially when you're that young you're legend, it's like it's Jeff Emig, so it's crazy. So you get done, we're talking to you, super nice and everything, you take off your jersey, you take off the pants, you change, and you hand them to my brother. And you gave him a full kit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the problem is, I don't know if he still has it. I'm gonna have to actually ask him if he still has it. But it was the green and yellow stuff. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
the shift.
98.
So yeah, so it was around then. I think it was around Summercross too. Did you race Summercross? Okay, so it was around like that time. It was around that same year.
Wow.
So we went to, then the other thing is, we went to another race or something like that, and we saw you and you remembered him. And it was like, it was one of those things where it was just like, we will never forget that as long as we ever live. But it's like those little things that I think some riders do and some riders don't do in today's world, because I think it's a little bit harder now to find genuine, you know, fans and stuff like that. Like a lot of people are reposting stuff, selling stuff, you know, all that kind of stuff. But that is one of the coolest things ever.
Well, yeah, I really appreciate that story. And look, I've certainly had my moments. There's been times where I've been the biggest pompous asshole in the world. There's a couple of things that come to mind that I hope never surface, but they're there. But you know, other than maybe a few instances where, you know, drank too much or something.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up as a motocross kid. I stuttered really bad. I still stutter to this day. I caught myself stuttering the last couple of days ago. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get the words out right. So when I was a little moto kid in the Midwest, my dad was friends with a lot of the top, you know, factory mechanics and stuff like that. And so I was around certain pro riders and all this when I was little.
Yeah.
But I stuttered so bad, I was so shy, I couldn't get a word out. And of course, all I wanted to do was go talk to that person, because that's like, oh my God, this guy's a pro racer, and that's, you know, that's what I want to do. You know, I didn't, you know, you didn't think that that's what you were going to do at that time. But and so I think there's probably a part of me that tries to, like, if I see a kid like at an autograph session or something, maybe like your brother, is that you see, like, you know, and if you're not too busy and wrapped up and self-absorbed in yourself, or hey, I got to go, I got to get out of here. If you're not and you recognize that kid, it's like, I was that kid. So what would I have wanted the person on this side to do for me? Yeah. And I think that I try to be conscious of that. And I know there's been times where at like an autograph session, people are coming through, and it's like it gets repetitive. You know, it gets repetitive. You just, you know, just going through it. Everything's busy. Hey, I got 5 things to sign or whatever. And then you see the one kid that you realize is just super shy. That's the kid you go talk to mom. Hey, what's your son's name? Okay, little Jimmy. Hey, little Jimmy, why don't you come back around here?
Oh, yeah.
And you take a picture with me. Yeah. Hold on, I got something. Let me find a hat or something. Hold on, now I got a hat. Something here for you. Yeah. Right on. So then you kind of like, because he's too shy to do that. So if your awareness is there and you have the time and all these sort of things, you go, okay, that's where the little me, the little Jeffy would have wanted that, would have made all the difference in the world.
Who was your favorite rider when you were a kid?
I mean, really growing up, Brock Lever was mine. He was my, it was just, especially, and then when he had like the white and yellow JT, and then he wore the pink, and it was like all controversial. And, but his something about his riding style and all this. And, you know, that's the coolest thing about where I'm at now. I'm 53, just had a birthday.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. And I tell people all the time, like, you know, all these guys that I looked at in magazines, and I just would have pictures on my door and just like, oh my God, it was like Johnny O and you know, all the guys, right? We had this VHS tape. I recorded a Supercross from Anaheim on, like, had the rabbit ears, like all this, the, you know, TV going. It was super grainy and fuzzy, but I recorded it onto a VHS tape, and it was Anaheim the year that Johnny O won. Okay. So it would have been, he won the championship 84. Yeah. So I think it was 84. And you can't even see it. I always tell him, I go, Johnny, I was watching you when it snowed at Anaheim. He's like, what are you talking about?
It's like, it didn't snow. Yeah.
It snowed on my TV.
Yeah. All the grays or whatever that.
Yeah. And what I tell everybody is, like, the coolest thing about where I'm at now is, like, let's see, Johnny O'Mara right there.
You can call him. Yeah.
He's my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Without, like, you know, fanboying too much. It's like, do we have RJ's number in here? Yeah, Ricky Johnson. Cool. Ricky Johnson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Like, you name it. Yeah. Jeff Ward, David Bailey, Rick Johnson. Like, they're all friends of mine.
Yeah. I could see a pattern with RJ and you, because you guys both did TV stuff. Yeah. And I did an interview thing with him with Canvas, and so we did something together where he had the replica jersey made, and I could see similarities, and I'm like, oh, there were some trainings, you know, like you guys had to go through that stuff.
Yeah, but that, like, to me, cool. That's like, you know, if you had told the 10, 12-year-old me, and I was racing pretty heavily by then, but if you had told me that these guys that were my heroes that I looked up to, I would just look at magazines, right? Because you didn't have you know, you had Wild World of Sports when the USGP was on.
Yeah,
Other than that,
yeah.
you never saw a video of the race.
Yeah.
Okay. That one Supercross I watched with Johnny O, I watched it 1,000 times. I could tell you every wheel tap, everything that he did, the entire race. And so instead, you would just have these magazines, and I remember I would go ride. I'm like, okay, Brock was doing this, or he was like
the
this,
body positioning,
or whatever.
yeah.
So then when you go ride, you're trying to take what you saw in this picture, and okay, it should, do I look like that? You know, and especially when you're 10 years old, you know, you look like a total beginner.
Yeah.
And then that's just how that stuff started, like how my style, Brock Glover was always super smooth, and that was like, I wanted to be smooth.
Okay.
Where Bob Hanna, Rick Johnson, you know, some of these guys, I mean, they were out of control at times.
Yeah.
You know?
Wild.
Not that Rick didn't have his smooth years, but, you know.
All right, so the other thing I wanted to know, and that I would kill myself if I'm going to edit that out because I can't put that on YouTube. But one thing I would never forgive myself on if I didn't ask you about Fresno Smooth. How was that? How did that whole thing come about? And like, what do you remember from like doing that in the Emigos thing? And like, that was like one of the coolest things ever is seeing like Moto kind of get bigger a little bit on the bigger stage. What was that for you?
This is the third time this week that I've talked to
have you really?
about Fresno Smooth.
Oh
so
my gosh.
At the
it
time,
just keeps living on.
It took forever to get it made, and finally the final edits and everything done. Adam Barker wrote the film, Troy Adamitis, basically, he was the videographer. They both worked together, Gut Brothers, and they convinced the boys at Fox Racing, Fox Brothers, that we're going to take this thing. It was kind of made for BMX. They did an adaptation to Moto and said, okay, here's the characters, here's the storylines, and here's where they intersect. And it worked for us. And because Shift was not part of Fox. People didn't know Shift was part of Fox at the time. It was like, okay, let's get involved with this. It took 2 years to finish it. I mean, it was like, they wanted to do retakes, and it's like, dude, I don't have that bike anymore.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even ride. I'm not on that. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
But what's crazy is that at the time, you know, Motocross Action, you know, High Torque Publications, and some of the hardcore moto people, they thought, oh, these guys are ruining the sport, right? Because we were deviating from like pure racing, but also what was starting to happen from really the first Crusty Demons of Dirt and free riding, what then was the branch that started to grow off for actual FMX freestyle motocross, where now competitions and all this sort of stuff. But it captured that moment, but it was acting. It was like, yes, I was me in the movie, but it is a parody.
Yeah, you weren't doing anything that you would normally like be doing. It was like, hey, you need to do this. You need to,
But what people don't realize is that the character in the movie, Loke, Dog, and Word, Adam and Troy wrote them into the script. They were filming the scene at the Mexican restaurant with Seth and Rusty and Ron Jeremy and all that. That was at this little Mexican restaurant right next to Kawasaki Riverside. And somewhere along the line, like Loke Dog was literally on the corner with a pager dealing drugs. And they wrote him into the film.
Are you kidding me?
So Loke Dog wasn't a character. So that was the brilliance of it. And of course, you can't have the movie without Loke Dog.
No, he definitely.
It doesn't happen,
dude. Right? That is one of the best little nuggets of that movie I've never known.
Oh, and there's so many. You've got like the boardroom scene with Tony Little, Tony Hawk, Tony Alva, and Tony. So when you look at the boardroom scene with Tony Little, Tony Hawk, and Tony Alves, you've got Tony Hawk going, is this one of those extreme things? Because he was like Mr. X Games. That was like, he was, boom, things were blowing up. And then you got Tony Alva, who's going.
He was kind of anti, wasn't he?
Well, he's like, what about rollerblading? Our studies show that's what kids really want.
That's right.
Well, Tony Alva is the most old school, hardcore skater. Anybody shows up to where he's skating with rollerblades, he's going to beat the shit out of him. You got to get out of here, right? So allowing us to do all of those things and all of the cameo appearance, like Rob Machado's scene when he's out at the free ride, and he's doing the interviews and his headset's all over, and he's like, I'm here with Buddy.
Looks at his name.
And he's like, we're here for the, and Buddy's like, pre-ride contest. And Yeah, free ride contest. That was
so
Rob
funny.
Machado, dude. He's a surf legend.
Yeah.
So that was what was rad about so many of those things, and just all the different storylines.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about it all the time. I don't go to a race without somebody shouting out Fresno Smooth. But when it was released in 1998, there was a large part of the industry
that hated it.
Yeah.
So where did Fro Daddy come from?
Denny Stevenson, he was doodling this thing.
All right, now I'm
doodling
remembering
Jeff
the story.
Rowe. He did all this little things on the phone, right? Trying to line up some girls like he always was. And then the artwork ended up on the fridge. And I moved, and it made it to the new fridge. But you're in your young 20s, and that's when you and all your buddies, everyone starts to get nicknames.
Yeah.
Whether you earned it by doing something stupid or whatever.
Yeah.
And
something cool.
And the thing is, you don't choose your nickname chooses you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know. They started calling me Jeff Fro, and then Fro Daddy, and Fro this and Fro that. And now I go to the races, and literally a majority of anyone that I see, everyone just calls me Fro. And
I would see you, I'd be like, what's up, Fro? Like, I don't know. It just kind of came naturally, I guess. I don't know. All right. So we got to get you back to training here, buddy.
Yeah, I got to do some riding.
Yeah, you got to do some riding. Anything next? Like anything exciting that's like quick here? I mean, you're just sold your bike.
Yeah,
when are you going to start riding again?
Rebuilt that Well, I was going to start riding.
Yeah.
Working on a new deal right now.
Okay.
So I figured I'd let go of the freshly built 300.
I think it's sweet.
Yeah, a guy back east got it, and that bike is absolutely amazing. Twisted development.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Everybody did. Yeah, they crushed it. So I would like to ride more this year. I'd like to race, Loretta's again.
Okay.
I'll get to run the #1 plates in both classes.
Dude, it's pretty rad.
And Mike Brown is just so fast. I mean, I was like 3 seconds off on a dry track, 3 seconds a lap. I couldn't catch him.
Oh my God.
As luck would have it, his engine blows in the mud. I end up winning the race.
Hey, winners win, man. Winners win. Doesn't matter how you win.
I even got Veteran Rider of the Year award from the AMA.
Oh, that's a good title. I'm actually gonna have to steal that from you. But it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna look back and be like, oh, Emig won the Loretta's title this year. Oh, but no, they're just gonna remember it was the title. Who cares?
Yeah, but like I said, I enjoy riding. It's really hard for me to just go, like, if I had just loaded up and rode today. It's much easier when, I've got to focus, I'm working towards something.
Okay.
Because then I feel like I stay more focused.
Okay.
And so to go riding in September when Loretta's isn't until another year away or something,
I get that.
So and this is really the life lessons with a lot of things is unless you do the short-term and long-term goal setting, how do you know where you're going? Are you on the right path? Right?
Yeah, you got to
get all philosophical here on Christmas Eve, but
I know.
But so if you set some short-term goals, you're working towards those. It keeps you focused, right? So
that's pretty rad. I like that. All right. Everything else seems to be going good. I'll be ripping out there with you whenever you get that bike back and you start riding again, especially at Paris. That's where I would always see you at. Yeah. You'd always make fun of me. Anytime I post something, you'd be like, "Oh, it blew up because it's me." Yeah. Like, you'd give me crap in my DMs and stuff.
That was a great edit that you did. It was
fun. It was cool. It's like I like doing that kind of stuff and it just, I don't know. You just see different people and you're riding well. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you were just kind of out there just cruising around.
I look at video and I feel like I don't move very much on the bike. Don't move enough.
Imagine how I feel. I'm editing all day long, and like of all these pro riders and all these fast dudes, and then I get like footage of myself, and I'm like, dude, I'm terrible.
You're like, wait, hold on, I'm
not even moving. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But I can understand.
It's only gonna get worse from here on out. You're 35?
37.
37. Yeah. I'm 53.
Yeah, but you're still ripping. Doesn't matter.
But there's a synergy to it all. I find that I mountain bike more. I train more. I do more yoga. Like whenever I'm focused on riding, it seems like it settles my entire schedule and my entire week.
That's rad.
And so right now I'm without a bike again. So obviously I need to get a bike and I need to get back riding. And certainly would have been good to ride out there too.
Yeah, hit up Luke. You're like, Luke, I need a bike.
Well, I'm gonna go ride this trail bike right now with my lady Jessica.
Dude, it's your old Yamaha days. He's riding a little trail Yamaha.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing this with me, man.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
I'm glad we got this in.
Yeah, no, it was a long time coming. So, but yeah, everything is going to be pretty entertaining, I think, in the next year. Defend that title, have fun, and I'll see you at the track.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching 23 Media. See ya. Merry Christmas.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. There you go.